button. Hello, everybody. Welcome. As you can see, we are deep into Patch Day. Happy Patch Day, everybody.
Hello.
Oh, now he's decided to be serious.
Uh-oh.
We are actually going to start on MSQ tonight, which will be the final main story quest that we get until Endwalker drops at the end of November.
So everyone, prepare for a cliffhanger.
Also, guess what else drops at the end of November? They just announced it last week. New World.
New World.
That's Amazon's big MMO that they've been in production for ages.
Right. Huh. Boy, that's I would not want to be going up against the 14 with a new MMO.
Mm-hmm. That's a bad release date.
So, is everyone ready for MSQ?
Wow.
Are our
So
viewers ready for MSQ? I don't know if I'm ready for MSQ. Wait a minute.
I'm popping on to Twitch to kind of check on things. And the recommended channels list is, all FF14 all the time.
Yeah, I'm not
I think
surprised.
there's people streaming it tonight. I can't imagine why.
Yeah, usually we wait a week on MSQ to let the filter go out, but we know if we don't do it now, people will spoil it for us.
To be honest, spoil it for you. I managed to avoid most spoilers.
You might be surprised. Action has a tendency of opening mouth and then going oops afterwards.
Because the main thing that, has been spoiled for me lately, you did.
Sorry.
Now, admittedly, that was probably inevitable, but
Sorry.
we'll never know.
Sorry. So, pray return to the Rising Stones.
Question marks.
Glad you all very much can make it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first let's do a round around the room. Who do we want to start with? Do we want to start in the back with Ochre?
We usually start up front.
Okay. Why don't we start with Alpha now? Hey, Alfie.
I say we have lots of choices here too.
Mm-hmm.
If I am to pursue this course, I must be prepared for the hardships that lie ahead.
Estinian?
If you've need of my lands, I'll be ready. If not, I'll be reserving my strength in preparation of the next battle.
You've been saying that since last time.
Yeah? It's an excuse for being lazy.
Yeah, well.
But since you're here, I have a question. The Scions are in close contact with the East Alenard Trading Company of Kugane, yes? I was wondering if they could place an order for some sun-dried squid. I don't seem to be able to find it in these parts.
Yeah, talk to Tataru about that. Oh, you don't want to
Yes.
talk to Tataru. I'm sorry. What was that about sun-dried squid? Ryanja?
Though we know not the full extent of the Teleforoi's schemes, preventing further abductions must take precedence above all else, for therein lieth the key to depriving our enemy of its most potent weapon.
Words of the wise.
Always.
My number one fan cat?
The sudden appearance of the towers will surely not have escaped the Forum's notice. I would like to think that they would be receptive to Kryle's request for cooperation in investigating the matter, but unfortunately, their reputation would suggest otherwise.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath either.
Yeah.
Tancred?
It strikes me as odd that, rather than marching on one of the city-states, The Telephori have so far made only sporadic attacks. I doubt they'd go to the trouble of putting up all of these towers if that was all they had in store for us.
Ishtola? None can deny that Heidelin's blessing has been a great boon to our cause, but much remains unknown with regard to her true intentions. Given everything we've learned from the encounter with the Asians, we must keep our minds open to any and all possibilities. Tataru? As of this moment, you are under strict orders to get as much rest as possible. After all, we need our man fighting it fit when the Telephori rear their ugly heads again. You got it. Efime. We've sent Coltane and the others to be our eyes and ears in the field. Wherever the Telephori appear next, we'll be among the first to know. Clements? Alice has been teaching me how to cure the tempering using epoxy. I must say, the thought of being in such close proximity to one affected is rather daunting. Riol?
I've been keeping me good eye on the towers and telling others to do the same. Of course, I don't mean just us scions. I've got a whole network of scouts to keep me informed.
Riol, I am so glad you are on our side. I would not want to be on his bad side. Alana? When the tower rose up in Yanzia, my first thought was to stay in Doma to keep my grandfather safe. But when we heard news of Bahamut's return, he bid me return to the Rising Stones to aid my fellow scions. He sends his regards, by the way. Yeah, I went looking for him in Home, and I could not find them. I hope they are okay. Aenor. Hori certainly cuts a fine figure as he set off on his latest mission. I was sad to see him leave, and my nights will be lonelier with just one brother to keep me company. Ogre?
Although Arnvald and I both served as scions, I'm afraid that I have had few opportunities to speak with the lad. I do hope he is fit to return to active duty soon.
I hope so too. We need Arnvald as much as we need everyone else here in the team. Okay, Alice,
Indeed.
what do you got for us?
The company we keep. Alice can tell you are itching to take the fight to the Telephori.
Ah, Thayrin, Rylea, Taylyn. You three are looking well. I take it you managed to squeeze in some rest. If you can aim hopping for tidings from Cryle, I'm afraid we're still waiting. But we would do to have some odd scraps of news to share.
Rest. Yeah. That's what we call DDR, sure.
Mm-hmm. Scraps, she says. The lunar primals have been popping up all over the place, but the Alliance has the situation well in hand, thanks in no small part to Hori Bolger and the others. Meanwhile, talks of the beast tribes are going even better than expected. Encouraged by the Old Daw's progression with the Amazja, Gridania has opened negotiation with the Ixal, believe it or not. That's actually kind of hard to believe, really. All of which is obviously very encouraging. But with the Telephori still out there, it's not as if we can afford to lower our guard.
Begging your pardon, but I come bearing an invitation from the Alliance. A council meeting is due to be held in Alamigo, and your attendance is humbly requested.
Ah, were just talking about the Alliance. May I ask what's on the agenda?
I believe the intention is to share news of recent developments and discuss what measures might be taken to combat the Telephoroi in concert with our new allies. These tribes have also been invited. It is hoped that they will join us in the fight against our common foe.
So the Alliance would bring all of the beast tribes into the fold for a single stroke. An ambitious plan, given the delicacy of the negotiations, but mayhap an inexpedient one, considering the threat we face.
Indeed, my lady. And for their part, I am told the beast tribes have agreed to attend. If the Scions too are present, all of Eorzea will be represented. Stoic nods all around.
Not those stoics.
To arrange such a meeting must have been quite an undertaking, not only diplomatically, but practically. Pray inform the Alliance we would be honored to participate. We shall make for Alamigo without delay. And I will bear your answer thither with all haste. We look forward to receiving you at the Royal Palace. Well, now that we've accepted the invitation, who exactly is going to attend? I move that you and Y'shtola lead our contingent. Given how long you've worked to end summoning, it is only right that you be present for what promises to be a historic moment. I think we've all played our part in that little endeavor, don't you, Rylea, Thayrin, Taylyn? More stoic nodding. All present may rightly claim a seat, I do quite agree. But by your leave, I believe I shall remain here and lend what assistance I can to the coordination of our defensive efforts. I'm not coming either. Emeric will be there, and I'd rather not be interrogated.
Fair enough.
Very well then. While those with a mind to hold the fort can get on with holding it, I suggest the rest of us make for Alamigo. Shall we? And Tataru's little wave.
I know, it's so adorable. Checking with Estinian.
Don't worry, I have no plans to return to roaming in your absence. I know you'd only chase me if I did.
True. Estinian, might I recommend you go take a wander over at Keeper of the Lake? I know he's asleep, but I'm sure he'd enjoy your company nonetheless. Ryanje?
I shall take this opportunity to gain a better understanding of Sir Estinian. Being a Elysian of like age, 'tis possible we have interests in common. Don't count on it. Mayhap I shall begin by lending him a favorite treatise or two for my collection.
No, I don't think that will work. He is a man of few words and of action more than words. You tend to be the exact opposite.
Yeah, this is not going to end well.
Tataru, you going to be okay here all by yourself? Don't forget to bring me back something nice from Alamigo. Oh, of course he would ask for gifts.
Souvenirs.
I'll see if I can manage some Alamigan flatbreads. They're actually rather sweet. I think you'll like them.
Okay, is this going to turn into Alka 13 with everyone enthusing over bread?
And there's a problem about enthusing over bread?
Maybe.
Okay, Ifime is the same.
Yeah,
Clemens
so
is the same, so probably the others are the same too.
Double checking. Yep.
But had to check.
Yep.
Because you never know when they're going to dump some little piece of lore in a back corner on you.
Yes.
I think the worst one to date is still Runar and the entire thing on you showing up in the Ratika Great Woods and being mistaken for a Sin Eater.
Yeah.
A lot of people are so angry at Y'shtola for dragging all her little enclave there out to fight a Sin Eater, and if you talk to Runar, it's the exact opposite. She wanted everyone to go to ground, and they were like, no, we're not letting you fight alone. And you only get that if you talk to them in this really tiny window.
Yeah.
So who are we talking to? Oh, we need to go to Alameda. And I think Taylyn is yanking us along. Thank you, Taylyn!
Apparently. I felt a tug in the aether stream.
Now let's see if I can manage these back alleys. Of course, we could just fly over it. Oh, hello, Lunar Whale! He means well. He's trying to help. Now, there's a quest
I think
giver.
there's a crowd gathered.
I think there's a quest giver somewhere in here. Ah, there he is, Mr. Resistance Guard.
All I can see is a symbol. We've been expecting you. While some few guests have yet to arrive, the Alliance leaders are all present. Shall I show you in? This crowd, are you sure that everyone hasn't already arrived? Blah.
Everyone that he cares
The
about.
entire world is here.
We seem to be missing some peace tribes.
Yeah, we've got 3.
Ah, there's 4, 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
8.
Woohoo! Yeah, it's gonna get a little crowded.
That is just about all of them.
Esteemed guests, you honor us with your presence. As there is much to discuss, let us begin.
Information on our taken brethren you have, yes? Hear it we would!
No, kobolds are right there. You're thinking gobbies.
Ah! Beyond forgiveness these featherless ones are! With rivers of blood shall they pay. Freed our people must be!
We too would see your kin liberated. But ere we attempt their rescue, we must first find a means to negate the risk of tempering. Without that, we will be unable even to approach the towers, let alone contend with their defenders.
If all else fails, I've always found cannonballs quite effective.
Meryl Webb.
And what of the prisoners? Would you see them slaughtered?
Think for a moment. Ponder, consider, think. If Merlwyb truly intended to bombard the towers, she would have done so by now. Remember, we came here to find a solution together, did we not?
Thank you, Zoda.
Y'shtola spoke of defenders. I but offered a means to clear a path, should you require it.
Given the enemy's capabilities, we will all need to play our part if we are to have any chance of success. For if any here should give less than their best, it will be to the cost of every living being on this star.
A paragon. The Empire. Our very gods. How can we hope to prevail against such odds? That our foe is formidable, none would deny. But our strengths are many and varied. In this chamber, I see masters of strategy, masters of magic, masters of the land, the air, and the sea. And together, there is nothing in creation we cannot overcome.
Uh-oh.
I beg your pardon?
What is it, Soulwalker? Do not express your passion thus. A little pretty without gills, perhaps? Suffice it to say, I am proud to be counted amongst Eorzea's finest. We Sahagin will play our part.
Well said.
We kobolds have not forgotten the crimes the Overdwellers committed against us in the past. But today we look to the future as allies united in purpose.
Make mock of the Ixal the Paragon does! Turns kin into puppets, pits brother against brother. Free them from his grasp, we shall!
As Patriarch Zadar will attest, the Scions have granted us a means to free your brethren from their thraldom. This boon we will gladly share, that your people might never be enslaved again.
We accept! We accept!
Praise me!
It's taken a while, but I do believe we might be one step closer to a world without primals. Would that Minfilia were here to see it.
We still have a long way to go, and we're going to need a lot more Porksies. But we're moving in the right direction.
If I may have your attention, there is one other point I would like to raise. As we can all agree, freeing those held captive must take precedence over every other concern. But experience has taught us that none save those with the capacity to resist tempering can hope to enter the towers unscathed. And even once inside, a still greater threat may yet await them, that which we call a primal. Needless to say, if we are to succeed, engaging with such foes can only ever be considered a last resort. And so I move that we seek to prevent them from being summoned in the first place.
Yes! Both prayer and ether are needed for the ritual. Should either one be denied, the summoning would fail.
Indeed. And so we must endeavor to discover the source of the ether on which the process depends. Do so, and it may present a way to halt the summonings, or perhaps even neutralize the towers entirely.
A promising proposal. While you are conducting your investigations, however, we will need to remain vigilant, lest the Telophoroi commit further abductions and summon primals ere we have the means to prevent them. To stand a better chance of keeping our enemy at bay, we would do well to coordinate our defensive efforts, sending reinforcements to assist our neighbors when needed.
We Amalja would have been overwhelmed were it not for our newfound allies. But say the word, and we shall come.
I see we are all in accord. But what are we to call this proud fellowship of ours? I submit that the honor of naming it should go to the scion whose brave efforts have done so much to unite Eorzea. What say you, my friend?
I'm horrible at naming things. Why are you looking at me?
I am reminded of the bit early in Stir Control 2, where you're getting through the end of the kind of prologue part for the story, and you're asked to name the new confederation you're proposing to build. And you have like 3 answers, and they do keep track of which one you use, and they use it in dialogues occasionally thereafter. And I forget what the first answer is, but it's basically, based off the name of the alliance from the first game.
Right.
And then they have, basically the United Federation of Planets, gotta have your Star Trek reference. And then the third one is, the Empire of your character name there. If you answer that one, it's just, the Starbase commander just looks nervous and is just, you're the one with the giant well-armed starship.
I don't know, the United Federation of Eorzea kind of has an interesting ring to it.
There you go.
I would call it, one moment please.
Yes.
I'm horrible at naming things.
And Grand Company of Eorzea does
Grand Company of Eorzea.
No.
I remember a certain someone pondering it once upon a time, and it seems as fitting a name as any.
We've already kind of blew the Crystal Braves, I'm sorry to say.
Boy, howdy.
A fine choice, for there is none here who does not love Eorzea.
Aye, in that we shall ever be united.
Meanwhile, Hian's in the back going, I'm from Doma, which is, like, not on Eorzea.
United in our gratitude for the realm that gave us life.
Then let it be recorded that on this day, the Grand Company of Eorzea was born.
Oh.
How long have we dreamed of this moment? And now that it's here, forgive me. Might we speak outside?
Sure, kid. And for how long? Since about 2.3?
What's this?
Patch 2.3, Grand Company of Eorzea, aka the Crystal Braves.
Well, yeah, I don't remember the name coming up before. Was that?
That was his initial thing, and people struck it down as being too large and pompous.
Ah.
Alice? It's a pity that the...
Hold on a moment.
I was just trying to find her in that crowd.
Yeah. There she is.
It's a pity at the threat of annihilation for everyone to cast their grievances aside, but better late than never, I suppose. Crystal Grandpa?
Forgive me for observing, but Alphino seems less than jubilant. Might his thoughts still be occupied with the fate of poor Arnvald?
That's right, he was never
among other
part
things.
of that entire mess.
Nope.
You've got a lot to learn, Grandpa. Thancred?
The Grand Company of Eorzea. I wonder what Rylea and the other former Crystal Braves will make of it.
Good question. Ishtola? We have won over the leaders. Now the leaders must win over their people. No small task, I grant you. But we've come a long way since we first joined Manphilia to bring an end to the summoning. Long, long way. Alphino? Pray speak your mind.
Because he will anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that we're out of earshot of the other delegates, I hope you will forgive me if I speak my mind. Let me begin by saying that I have dreamed of this day since the moment I first set foot upon these shores, and that I was as heartened as anyone to see the peoples of Eorzea pledge their solidarity. Yet even as they uttered their declarations, all I could think about was the conflict to come, of the sacrifices that would be made, and the lives lost. Inevitabilities that I still struggle to accept. At least now there is hope. The formation of the Grand Company of Eorzea is the first step. The first of many.
What do you think?
Let's say you.
And I'm thinking it's you. I'm really thinking it's you. I've got a funny suspicion.
Many and more.
Ah, you are correct.
Yeah, though for the wrong reason. I was expecting, Lise.
Ah.
Elder Seedseer, how might we be of service?
I seek Master Alphino's assistance in a matter involving Gridania's neighbors, the Sylphs.
Again?
I know that you and yours have long kept a weathered eye upon the crystal trade, and better to predict the coming of the primals, and so you would be familiar with the Sylphs of the Ashen Crown Consortium. Through their dealings, they have cultivated relations with not only the city-states, but many other communities besides.
Communities such as the Beast Tribes.
Just so. It is our hope that we may make use of the Sylph's established lines of communications to coordinate the efforts of our new fellowship. Yet there remain certain practical differences between the Trade Consortium and a Grand Company. If the Sylphs are to perform their task effectively, they will require a consul of one versed in the operational aspects of an armed force.
An armed force founded with this same goal in mind, no less.
The Crystal Braves, yes. Forgive me, Master Alphino. I know that was a painful chapter in your life, but the experience may yet be made to serve the realm.
In my hubris, I plotted a course for the Crystal Braves which stretched far beyond the Order's initial conception. One intended to pave the way for the founding of what I intended to call the Grand Company of Eorzea. But my plans all came to naught. Built upon a frail foundation of lofty ideals, the Order was doomed from the first to collapse under the weight of more worldly interests. And I have no wish to see this new endeavor suffer the same fate.
Mayhap I ask too much of you.
Not at all. You may count upon my assistance for what little it is worth. By your leave, I shall prepare a report, including a list of recommendations, drawing upon the lessons I learned from the failures of the Crystal Braves.
You have my gratitude, Master Alphino, and my trust. When your report is ready, pray shall it deliver to... pray share it directly with the Sylphs. With your guidance and earnest efforts of every goodly soul gathered here today, I have no doubt but our fellowship shall emerge from the shadows of the Telophoroi and flourish. Until we meet again, my friends.
Before continuing committing anything, there are a number of people whose thoughts I should like to hear. Former Braves, you understand. Might you join me in seeking them out?
As if you have to ask.
I can't think of an excuse not to, so yes?
You know they might be slightly different.
They might be. Probably not. Well, I shall be grateful of your help, grudging or not.
Okay, I did get something slightly different.
Okay.
Thank you. As someone who witnessed the Order's rise and fall, yours would be a reassuring presence. I'll join you if you're planning to canvass... If you're planning to canvass the options of your former comrades, it would be a lot quicker if we shared the task questioning them. And have them mistake Alpha No for you? Are you sure that's wise?
Come on, she needs an excuse to get mad.
Then mayhaps Graha can lend a hand as well. I shall accompany Thancred back to the Rising Stones. Between us, I dare say we should be able to provide an accurate enough account of the day's events.
We should be glad of your company, Graha. I shall explain the details on the way.
Yeah, and this will be a good history thing for you to note down that you did not experience.
Yeah.
Because it was not pretty.
Ew. It was
It ended poorly.
Alpha No?
No. Graha. Okay. It's Alizé who's the next step. So where is Alphino in all of this?
He's kind of right in front of you or right behind you.
It will not be easy to revisit the past, but sometimes one must look back to see the way forward.
Graha?
I take it we will soon be paying the Sylphs a visit? How fascinating it will be to speak with them in person. Though I gather conversation can prove rather challenging.
That depends on if Walking One is up for the task.
Yes.
Alizé? So, what's the plan, brother mine?
Before discussing the task at hand, I should probably admit that the report I proposed is largely written. Not long after that fateful day in Ul'dah, I penned a detailed account of the organization's history, from the events that led to its inception to the failings that brought about its demise. This I did primarily as a means of taking some semblance of responsibility. Never did I imagine that it might later be referred to by those seeking to form a similar organization. And while I made every attempt to be objective, the account was mine alone, its events viewed from my singular perspective. For it to be of use, however, it must be brought into a compass of viewpoints of all involved. Only then can it answer what seems to me to be the crucial question. Namely, why, after the Crystal Braves disbanded, did some members choose to remain with us while others did not?
I see. And I think the answer will tell you something about the nature of the ties that bind our new Grand Company together. And that this knowledge may help prevent it from falling apart when those bonds are invariably tested.
That is my hope, yes. But the questions I would ask are uncomfortable to some. As the former commander of the Crystal Braves, I doubt that those who abandon the cause would welcome my inquiries.
Then Graha and I will just have to try. Meanwhile, the two of you can talk to the ones who kept the faith.
A fine suggestion. Have care, however. Certain of my former comrades are of questionable character, so keep your wits about you and let us reconvene in Gridania later on. If you have no objections, I have a mind to begin by speaking with Rylea and Taylyn. If memory serves, the two of them will be attending an intelligence briefing at Castrum Oriens. Let us seek them out there.
A good first choice. Let me back out so that other player characters won't have this giant chocobo carriage in the way.
It's fine.
Action. Okay, I can stay up longer, but my body won't let me.
Yeah. Action.
Good night, action. Okay. All aboard.
All aboard the Questing Express.
Yeah, it's about where I thought it would be.
So, 3 quests. Do you think we'll get through the first one tonight?
Good question. But this does bring up the question on whether... One of the things I've been pondering is the fate of, Longulatos and, Yaya Hase, who were 2 former members of the Crystal Braves that were not on our side, but have a complicated backstory.
As per typical.
And was actually being written up as part of my These Are Dangling Cliffhangers. I don't want to go too much into it because it's a story that actually the Bun Buns have already started, and it's a continuing chain throughout all as this little background thing. Going on all the way through to the end of Stormblood. Of course, it kind of dropped off of Stormblood because, well, we weren't actually here on the source for 3/4 of Shadowbringers, so... Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing where this story goes. But sometimes it's good to just take a break and enjoy the scenery for a little bit. But yeah, I'd been wondering about Longulatus and Yuyuhase for a while now. So let's see if this ends up going there with Alice and Graha. Because the last we heard of them, they were in custody in Alamigo. They were caught effectively trying to sneak across the border.
Right.
Or at least we think it was them that was caught sneaking across the border. We never got confirmation. You know, the entire thing about don't count someone if you can't see the body.
Yeah.
Unless it's
Yeah, we
Xenos.
learned that one the hard way.
Unless it's Xenos, and then bodies don't count.
Yeah. That's the annoying part.
Uh,
We did it all correctly.
I mean, I'm really happy we're getting Astidian and Graha as part of the team. I'd like to replace my Xenos card, please. Maybe with Midgard Somner? Yeah! Can I get Midgard Somner card instead? I don't need that friend to me. Okay, our quest giver is probably under the whale.
Nah.
Yeah, it's totally under the whale. Here we go! Yay! Alphino?
While such briefings are seldom exciting affairs, their importance in coordinating our efforts with our allies cannot be overstated. In that regard, Rylea and Rylea have been most dependable.
Yeah, I am so glad they stayed with us. Rylea?
There's Rylea.
Oh, I didn't expect to see you here, Thayrin. Rylea, Taylyn. But if you enjoy intelligence briefings, you've come to the right place.
Enjoy? No.
Real?
Well, look who it is, and what brings you two here? Wouldn't have anything to do with the big meeting, would it? In a manner of speaking, I have been assigned a task, you see, for which I require the assistance of former members of the Crystal Braves. So you want to know why we decided to stick with the Scion, eh? Ain't an easy thing to put into words, but that...
As I once explained to Thayrin, I spent a long time agonizing over my failure to alert you to the traitors in our midst. From my negligence, I was captured along with many others, and we were powerless to prevent the tragedies that ensued. Not a day goes by that I do not think back to those faithful events. By joining the Scions, I hope to redeem myself, and I will continue to serve the cause for as long as I am able. But that wasn't my only reason. When we finally reunited at the Rising Stones, you refused to blame anyone but yourself for the fall of the Crystal Braves. And in spite of everything that has happened, everything you had suffered, you took back without a moment's notice. Or you took us back without a moment's hesitation. We would have not have blamed you if you had turned us away. But when you gave us your trust and said, what else could we do but to try and repay it?
Nothing, that's what. As for me own tale, well, I've always felt the Scions have something in common with me old crew. The duty of the strong is to protect the weak. That was our creed. I still strive to live by it to this day. But as time's gone on, I've learned that strength comes in many shapes and sizes. From Hoary Boulder to Mistress Tataru, we've all of us got something to offer. And not one of us is doing it for personal gain, because we believe there's more important things than that. Things worth protecting, which is what being a Scion's all about. I am at a loss for words. Thank you, my friends. To hear this from you means more than you know. Forgive me, Rylea, Thayrin, Taylyn. Could you...
Give us your thoughts on the Crystal Braves.
Yeah. Well, it's founding ideals are something to be proud of. But ideals alone don't make a crew. For every swab who signed up with good intentions, there's another who's in it don't the coin, or the glory, or both.
Ours was quite a disparate band, and while we never forgive Ilberd, the fact that we managed to function at all was thanks large in part to his efforts.
It's a pity he was doing it for all the wrong reasons, eh? Only takes one bad apple, they say, and the Braves had a barrel full of them. Not like the Scions. We might look like a ragtag band of misfits, but deep down, we've all got that shared sense of purpose. Why? Because Totoro sifted out all the glory hunters before they made it through the door. I see. So while our ranks comprise a diverse range of people, each with their own individual strengths, we're all united in purpose. Thank you, my friends. With your permission, I shall make a record of our discussion and refer to it when drafting my recommendations. Until we meet again. Ooh, one quest down.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Foxfire.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
just in time to miss 1 out of 3 quests.
Well, there's always the back review. Just a reminder for those who've actually been keeping up with the Buns. The Buns have actually met and dealt with Rylea and Taylyn before. Rylea was originally from the Company of Heroes, and he helped give us the information on how to get into Titan's Lair. Taylyn is an adventurer along with her grandfather, who is currently in Doma. And we kept running into them going into jobs, particularly in Copperbell Mines, Tamtara Deepcroft, and Satasha. They were effectively competing adventurers, and she was the healer to her grandfather, who was an axeman, who's now retired, but he's probably seen more than all the rest of us put together.
Yeah.
And while he has not joined the Scions, he likes to hang around to make sure his granddaughter is okay. And there is a bird butt over Alphino. Let's talk to Alanae first. Speaking of former Crystal Babes, I have not seen Amgris of late. Constantly away on missions he is. I wonder how he fares. Funny, I thought Amgris was female. Rogaden. But I could be wrong. Real?
Somewhere. After the Company of Heroes went their separate ways, I did try working on me own for a bit. I'll admit, it was nice being able to pick me own battles, but if you want to make a real difference, you need to find a good crew and stick with them.
Alphino.
On official business, Alphino is keen to hear what Alice and Grahatia have learned from the Braves who turned their back on the cause. Well, I think we have taken up enough of our colleagues' time. I am conscious that less life-affirming testimonies await. Let us make our way to Gridania and hear what the others have learned.
And checking in with Alanae just in case. Okay. She says the same thing, so. It's off to Gridania. Hello, Mr. Gatekeeper. Can we go over to East Shroud? I cannot type to save my life. I apologize to Ursi across the ether for not being able to type her name correctly. Foggy.
Yep.
But it's good to see our FC Master back in game.
Mm-hmm. For however long that lasts.
At least until next semester, I hope. And of course, we might actually start seeing action a little later now that apparently his wife has shifted schedules so that he doesn't have to get up at 6 in the morning to take care of Leo.
Oh,
yeah.
And Leo is growing by leaps and bounds.
He's of the age for it.
And I think all his teeth have come in by now. I'm not sure on that. But yeah, a teething 1-year-old, never good. And I can't blame them for wailing because, yeah, I know that dental pain.
Yeah, you would.
I'm following Taylyn! They're in Old Gridania?
Yeah.
Outside the Lancers Guild.
That would make sense.
Ah.
Lancers Guild and quarters for the Wood Whalers, which is one of the two groups that make up the Gridania Grand Company Twin Adder. I know the lore goes very deep in FF14, which is nice. But you don't have it to play the game, which is also very nice. It means it's a lot more approachable instead of getting like a book full of lore in your face as soon as you log in for the first time.
Yeah.
That's never inviting. Being slowly dipped into it is a much better experience. Alphino?
On the way here, I took the opportunity to write up my notes from our conversation with Elian, and all that remains is to add Alice and Graha's findings, whatever they may be.
Graha?
When Alice sets her mind on something, there is no stopping her, and her mind was truly set on finding former Braves. For a while, I even feared what she might do to them. But in the event, she was admirably civil, for the most part. Oh dear.
Alice? Thanks to Tataru's ever-dependable intelligence, we managed to track down a handful of former brave men without getting any great difficulty. Some were forthright, others less so, but we heard enough to form a picture. I must warn you, Alphino, some of their comments were harsh.
I can well imagine, but their opinions are no less vital to my report. I seek the unvarnished truth. Thank you. I will set about adding your findings to my own at once. In the meantime, pray go on ahead to Little Solus and seek out Elder Frixio. I will join you anon.
I guess we're going to Little Solus. Alphino?
Leave me to attend to my report and join the others in Little Solus. I shan't keep you waiting long. You know how playful the Solus can be. Yes, I still have memories of the last major quest in there.
I am so sad they took out the entire runaround of trying to guess which is the real Scion and which is the Sylph.
Yeah, if that's really gone, That's a big loss, because Y'shtola had a wonderful line at the end of that.
They do kind of hint at it, but yeah. That and job hunting for Tataru.
Oh dear. That was also hilarious.
Yeah, LSA is a lot more of a firebrand, and why did I go to the housing district? Have it. I'll be right there.
No
Give me
comment.
a minute.
I'll only say that I'm surprised I didn't.
Your carriage, madames?
Mm-hmm. Little Solus and step on it.
Whee! I'm so glad they added the carriage to the game. It is so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, there's Frixio.
How can you tell? I can't see a thing.
Before you click on her, Alisei.
Yep.
Now that I think about it, the four of us, only you and Alphino had any real experience with conversing with the Sylph. Still, it can't be that hard, can it? I don't know, how good is your jig?
Yeah.
Graha?
Though I had the honor of sharing a table with Elder Frixio and Alamigo, did not have an opportunity to speak with them. I do hope my studies have granted me a sufficient grasp of his people's customs. You've dealt with fairies, you should be in good stead.
Hold on. Gotta do it right.
Now do Kumuxio and Laxio have anything to say?
Don't know.
Doesn't look like Kumuxio's...
Kumuxio's still talking about Ramu.
Yep. And Laxio has not changed in, like, expansions.
This one heard, this one felt. Walking One has been judged worthy by Lord Ramu. Elder One is most grateful to Walking One. These one's crystals have found a good home with Walking One. Yeah, that hasn't changed in, what, 4 expansions?
Yeah.
Ah, welcome, Brave One and friends of Brave One. How good it is to see Walking One again so soon after meeting. Should this one perform the customary dance of greeting?
Yes, yes.
No, be at ease. It is true that these ones delight in making Walking Ones dance, but no more. Really? Oh! I've gotten better with my jig.
I've got a good mambo.
Horned One Kani Senna said that Walking Ones would be coming to Little Solace. Imperial Ones also invade Sylph lands and abducted many of these ones, so these ones will be glad to bear message between fighting and friendly ones.
That is heartening to hear, Elder. It will require all ones to work in unison to stop the Telephoroi.
These ones will try very hard, of course, but in a matter of war, these ones have little experience. Any advice Walking Ones can provide would be most welcome. Oh, another pretty silver-haired one, and in quite a hurry, it seems.
Alice, you must come quickly.
Whatever's the matter there, Alphino? Don't tell me you couldn't read my handwriting. What?
What?
Sorry.
It's bad enough to mistake Alice for Alphino. Don't do it in reverse.
Sorry.
What? No! A twin adder officer accosted me as I was about to set out. Sherlan has sent an envoy who is due to arrive at Gridania at any moment.
Wait, what?
Envoy? Could it be that Kryl has managed to sway the Forum? We shall know soon enough, but there is more. The envoy has requested that the two of us attend the audience with the Elder Seedseer.
Really? I can see why they might want the Scions to be present, but us specifically? Wait. It isn't who I think it is.
It is. I could scarce believe it myself, but when I inquired as to the envoy's identity, I was told that it was one Fortunal Lavalier.
Oh no! Oh my god, he actually pulled his butt out of Starlian to come check on his grandkids. Or his children, effectively.
His kids.
Yeah, his kids.
Your father? Well now, the fact that a serving member of the Forum had journeyed here would be surprising enough, but him? Quite. I glean from this that they are taking the matter seriously.
That may be, but why him and not one of the other 98 Forum members? Unless he volunteered for it.
It has been some time since you last saw your Could it be that he is concerned for your well-being?
Perhaps, but he has always been reluctant to discuss his work with us.
Indeed. And whenever we write to our parents, it is invariably our mother who replies. Nevertheless, I welcome the opportunity to meet with him after so long, even if it is secondary to his true purpose here. Elder Frixio, loath though I am to cut our visit short, we must return to Gridania. Pray accept my apologies, along with my report.
Never mind. There will be time to talk later. This one won't keep walking ones for more urgent matters. Go!
The audience will be held at the Lotus Stand, where the Elder Seedseer awaits even now. Let us be on our way.
So Papa Levier has shown up.
My. Frixio?
Just a second. No, not Kazume. Frixio. Don't mind this one. Walking One should head back to Gridania with the others. If this one has any questions about the report, this one will be sure to send word. You got it, Frixio.
First question being, how do I avoid falling asleep in the middle of it? I don't think this kind of report is exactly either kind of thing.
Alphino has gotten better with his words.
I'm not actually disparaging anything Alphino might have written. It's just the Sylph's attention span for that sort of report.
If it was any other Sylph besides Elder Frixio, I would agree with you.
That.
This is Elder Frixio. If you notice, their language was not as strong in Sylph speak as any of the others.
Yeah.
For good reason. I actually like Frixio a lot.
Oh, yes.
Some of the other sylphs I'm not so sure on, but they were one of the few beast tribes that actually did come and have a representative at the Scions before the Purge. So I give the sylphs full credit that they showed when none of the others would.
Yeah. And did you catch my comment earlier on the one beast tribe we didn't, technical beast tribe we didn't actually see at the conference?
The Namazu?
Moogles.
The Moogles.
This is true. We did not see the Moogles. We did not see the Namazu.
Now, those two, admittedly, have never tried to summon anything, but...
Nope. The Moogles did.
True.
They
Yes,
summoned
yes,
Great King Mogglemog.
Thorn March.
Yes. So, yeah, I'm a little surprised that the Moogles weren't there at all.
Oh, Taylyn ran ahead. I was waiting for them to load in at the gate. Sorry.
No problem. Apparently I load faster.
We always get sidetracked, and Rylea loads very slowly.
Okay.
Sometimes. Sometimes I merely load slowly.
Welcome, Warriors of Light. The Elder Seer and your friends are waiting within.
Yep, haven't been in this set for a while.
Alice, eh? After all this time away, it will be good to see my father, even if it is as an official meeting.
Yeah, I am somewhat nervous about this.
Alphino?
99 may seem like rather a lot of members, but before the Forum was founded, every person of age in Sherland was given equal say in its governance. Many of the institutions that are still active today were established by the people's vote, not least the studio. As Alice and I were constantly reminded during our time there, it is an example of what can be achieved through absolute democracy.
Graha?
During my time in Sherland, I heard much of is a gifted speaker known amongst other things for the uncompromising application of foreign policy. Yeah, I am a little concerned about this.
Kan-e Senna. My friends, I thank you for coming so swiftly. Word of Master Fortunal visit took us quite surprise. When the Alliance granted Mistress Kryl permission to request Charlene aid, we did not anticipate so prompt a reply, much less that would be delivered by a member of the Forum. What the nature of that reply may be, we shall soon discover.
Okay.
Elder Seedseer, I thank you for granting me this audience. I am Fortuno Rylea, here in my capacity as representative of the Forum.
It is I who should thank you, Master Fortuno, for journeying so far and so swiftly. Would that our first meeting could have been under happier circumstances.
It has been too long, Father. You look well.
As do you both. Ameliance will be glad to hear that you are taking care of yourselves.
Ah, we now have the mother's name. We've never known that before.
Yep.
How is Mother?
She misses you terribly, of course, but is otherwise a picture of health. Circumstances apart, I'm grateful that our meeting has afforded me the chance to be reunited with my children at long last. And I believe I also owe you thanks for the hospitality you showed my father, Louisois, during his sojourn in Eorzea.
All thanks we owe to him. In the days prior to the 7th Umbral Calamity, it was your father's tireless efforts which granted us a means to vanquish the Primals. Were it not for him, our strength would have been quite spent by the time the Empire arrived. That Gridania still stands is in large part his achievement. He was a great man.
He would doubtless have been moved to hear you say so. I must confess, however, that I opposed his decision to intervene. And my position remains unchanged.
To chart the course of history, not to change it. I am familiar with the Sharlayan stance.
It is more than that. It is our way of life, who we are. But I came here not to deliver a lecture, but the Forum's answer to your request. Sharlayan will under no circumstances intervene in the conflict between Eorzea and the Garlean Empire.
May I ask for what reason the Forum has come to this decision? The final days spell the end not only for Eorzea, but the entire world.
The final days? Pray spare me your hyperbole. This conflict is no more than the latest in a series of petty squabbles between yourselves and Garlemald, one in which Sharlayan will take no part. If the final days were truly upon us, we would know.
Father, you must ask the Forum to reconsider. You may feel safe on your little island across the waves, but if you imagine the Telophoroi will leave you be, you are mistaken. They mean to kill us all, themselves included.
Alphino is right. We have seen what the enemy is capable of, the lengths to which they'll go. This is no time to turn a blind eye. If Eorzea falls, so too will Sharlayan. So if you truly love our homeland, you will join us. Now, before it's too late.
I thought you knew better than to raise your voice to your elders. It seems I was wrong. Wrong to ever let you leave, Sharlayan. I consoled myself that your time abroad would instill in you some hint of restraint, of discipline. But I see now that Eorzea has made fools of you both. Have you forgotten why it was that I so vehemently opposed your grandfather's departure? For all his wisdom, his only solution was to go to war. Death, devastation, ruin. Even those who claim victory are scarred for life. What prize could ever justify such sacrifice? It is the duty of the learned to avert such tragedy. By fanning the flames of war,
you up to it?
You forsake all you once held dear.
To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom. It is indolence.
Yeah. Though I will note that all these are effectively quotes of people that we have
Yes.
dealt with early on. To better fight and fail than wait for the
And
axes
thank you, Ripley.
Yeah, that... Yes. And it is in your power to save us, refuse us, and you condemn us all. But yeah, to ignore the plight of those who might conceivably save it is not wisdom, it is indolence.
Oh,
I see your friend shares your misguided ideals. But unlike him, you should know better. By espousing such barbaric notions, you subvert the teachings of Sharlayan and place all we have worked for in jeopardy. Alphino, Alizé, as of this moment, you shall no longer bear the name of Leveilleur.
Oh my god, he did not.
What?
Father. How you choose to live your lives is no longer my concern. If you wish to walk the path of ruin, I will not stand in your way.
He just disowned them.
Master Fourcheneau, while Sharlayan may have no intention of intervening in this conflict, we can still part as friends. Will you not stay and speak with us, that we might learn of Sharlayan's hopes for the morrow?
I have said what I came here to say. Any further discussion would be meaningless.
Father! Wait! Don't bother, Alizé!
How can you stand there and watch him walk away? How can you let this happen?
Well, all things considered, that went slightly better than I thought it might.
Are you sure? Being disowned is kind of a big thing.
I was afraid he'd try to drag them off to Sharlayan.
That might be better than being disowned.
At
least it shows he still cares.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you two. If you need a place to crash, you're always welcome at my workshop. Connie Senna.
They will not suffer for places to stay.
No, they will not. They've made far too many allies. It was not very long ago that we had a friend and neighbor in Sharlayan, and so I clung to hope that she might yet send us her strength. But when she forsook Dravana, it would seem she forsook us all. Graha?
In order to avoid conflict with Garlemald, the Forum went so far as to order the abandonment of an entire city-state. The refusal to aid us now is, I am sorry to say, entirely consistent with their historic position.
Alphino?
Is it we who walk the path of ruin? Time will tell.
I'm sorry, guys. Would you like a Kleenex? I've got a complete box here that I purposely bought just for this MSQ. Alizé? So that's what he came here to say? That we were fools for having the temerity to defend ourselves against the Delaferoi? As for the rest...
Like it or not, this was the Forum's decision. To watch from afar while Eorzea burns. Father was but the messenger, and as he handed down their judgment, I could think of nothing to say that could possibly sway him. I still can't.
To have prolonged the discussion would have changed little, and it is not for Master Falcino who must be persuaded, but for the Forum as a whole. Their decision was made ere your father crossed the sea. Nor is it likely to be changed, and so we must face the Telophoroi without their aid.
Forgive me, but if they had no intention of helping us, then why would they go to the trouble of sending an envoy in the first place? Why did they not simply keep their counsel as they were wont to do?
Hello? Thayrin, Rylea, Taylyn, Master Falcino arrived yet?
He just left.
Then it is as I feared. My efforts were in vain. I pleaded our case to as many Forum members as I could, but then they flatly refused to discuss the matter. No, that's not exactly true. I should rather say that they ignored every word I said on the subject without exception. It was almost unnerving.
Could it be that they're hiding something from us? That might go some way to explain Master Falcino's performance. When he said that they would know if the final days were truly upon us, I dismissed it as pride. But what if they genuinely believe that they know how the world will end, and simply disagree with us about the circumstances?
I don't know that, but something tells me that they're not as unconcerned about the Telophoroi as they claim. If the threat weren't real, why else would they be so standoffish and secretive? I would very much like to delve deeper into this, but I'm afraid I've exhausted every avenue of inquiry here. Nor have I fared any better with any of my other missions. Researching Hydaelyn and the Ethereal Sea, I tried enlisting the help of experts in the field, but it appears that the Forum has forbid anyone from cooperating with us.
Obstructed at every turn.
I know who we can talk to. So it would seem, but don't lose heart just yet. With all the knowledge and acquaintances we have between us, we can still find a way forward. To that end, I would like you all to join me here when the time is right, of course. I am aware that matters in Eorzea standing on the knife edge, but with your permission, I can at least start making the necessary arrangements. Please do.
I always wanted to visit Charlian.
You sure? Okay, yeah, let's go visit Charlian.
I hear they have books.
And so you
and maybe fishies.
And so you shall, albeit under less than hacky circumstances. It may take a while to secure entry for you all, but I'll let you know when everything is in order. Look after yourselves in the meantime, won't you? Your speculations give me cause for hope, and yet if the seeds will bear fruit, I cannot say. Where it is possible for the Charlines to hide some secret truth from us, there can be no certainty that its exposure will prompt them in a change of heart. And so, for the present, we must needs confront the plight in which we find ourselves. The Forum has requested our aid, and it falls to us alone to continue with the Telophoroi.
Even with all of Eorzea standing united, there is no guarantee that we will prevail. What does Charlene intend to do if we fail?
Good question.
Oh, look, your choice of foods, and you can't choose anything other than food.
That lemon muffin looks mighty tasty. Again, so does the chicken fettuccine.
I'm amazed at you, voluntarily choosing lemon.
Yeah, I'm going for the chicken fettuccine.
Okay, so that's 2 down.
Foxfire,
And it is
that's
just
pronounced...
after 11.
That is pronounced Elisen.
Yes. Yes.
So, do we want to hold here for tomorrow?
I think so.
Okay. I am going to pop out and we'll go crash at the at Caroline's Canopy because they have great eel pie. And eel is a type of fish. Kind of.
And after all of this, I think we need a drink.
Oh yeah. Do you think Briskarn sent up some of his Kirkin firewater? I think that's about the right level of drink we need.
Something like that.
Oh boy, I was totally not expecting the disowning. Oh my gosh.
That isn't where I was expecting it to go, but I figured it was not going to go happily.
I know he was kind of grumpy with them, but an actual full-on disown.
Yeah.
I really feel sorry for the twins. Thank you, Foxfire. And you would be very correct, especially if you've played through Heaven's Word. This table looks good. Even has cookies for us. But yeah, I don't think firewater is served in teacups. Sorry. Well, in any case, thank you all very much for joining us. It is that time for Rylea and probably Taylyn too to turn into pumpkins. Yay. We will continue this tomorrow night starting at 9:30 and see how far we get. We got through like 1.5 quests about, roughly?
No. We got through 2.
Ooh.
That was the end of quest 2. So
we might
one
actually
quest go
hit...
and then the ending credits.
Yeah, we might actually hit ending credits tomorrow night. Woohoo! In any case, you guys all have a great evening. Thanks so much for joining us. Sleep well, be safe, be well, and we really hope to see you tomorrow night.
Yes.
Good night,
Everyone
everyone.
have a great night.